Society podcast. Welcome. Just to do quick intros, my name's Sean. My name's Sean. I live in Minnesota. I'm just gonna say just that much. I'm an atheist, skeptic. I'm anti-feminist, and I am an anti-SJW. That's a lot of what we will cover on this podcast. It won't exclusively be that. To the juggalos out there, me and my co-host are both juggalos. So whoop whoop to any of the juggalos.
That much motherfucking
love. There might be some clown related stuff on here too, if that captures anybody's attention. I'm 30 years old, and I wanted to come on here and get into this whole YouTube thing because it looks fun. I also have my own channel if you want to check it out. It's the Blunt Atheist. And that's about it for me to my co-host.
Well, as you know, I'm Brian, and I am anti-feminist, but I'm not exactly pro-idiot either. I can't stand religion for all it's worth. And for God's sake, if I ever have to look at all these people I cannot stand people who are entitled. I am here simply to help my host point out all the bull crap that people don't want to see. The stuff people don't want to talk about, and the things you don't want to realize. We are here to let you know what's really going on. I'm just here to let you all know that it ain't what you think it is. It never is, and it never will be. And sometimes you think you go through life thinking that you're dead already anyway. Are you really alive? Are you really asleep or awake? Therefore, the entire society living out their lives trying to make that extra dollar, you are all in a state of comatose, completely oblivious to what really is. And with that, our first topic, sir.
Okay, good intro. First segment topic. Recently, it has hit the news as of today. There was a bombing in Kabul.
And the explosion killed 90 people and wounded 400.
And from what they know, they have not linked this to any terrorist organization yet.
Although they say that Afghani, I don't want to say just leaders for lack of knowledge of who actually did it. They said that the Taliban in league with
Pakistan.
Yes, it was Pakistani groups in league with the Taliban who did this. It was with a water truck. A water truck, and the truck was heading towards the embassy, the German embassy, and the U.S. troops actually who were stationed there stopped them from getting to the embassy, and the bomb exploded right there outside of was it a cell phone? A cell phone store, was it? Yes. Killing 11 U.S. citizens. Or U.S. military, actually. 11 U.S. military people. Now, how does that make you feel, Sean?
Just what I think. I would like that. This is a situation I believe that there's a lot of people being quite PC right now with this topic. The key word everybody's trying to avoid being called is Islamophobic. I guess myself, I'm not afraid of that word. Um, it just seems like 9 times out of 10, when a lot of this, horrific shit goes down, it ends up being, put to the name of some kind of Islamic terrorism. So, I mean, I guess what I have to say is people, please wake up and stop being so PC. I really wish the news would just, come out and say the shit for what it is. I mean, like I said, statistically, it seems like most of the time, 10 times, it's some Islamic group
Radical.
doing this bullshit.
A
Your
radical Islamic.
thoughts?
Well, I mean, let's like you have to see the word radical terrorists. Otherwise, people think you mean just the innocent women and children living in the country. You have to say radical these
Correct.
days.
Correct.
But you know what? I mean, they're not always radical. Sometimes it's just a pissed off fucking idiot who just thinks he can, change the world. But so their sources tell us it was Pakistani with the Taliban. Now, the Taliban is very real, and so are collaborations with this said group. Now, I don't know if the actual Taliban, because the Taliban said that they didn't do it, but but cry wolf and all that, So if you ask me, I should have told everybody in my intro that I'm a real super conspiracy theorist, because there are just so many different things that happen underground that we'll never know about. For all we know, it was a bunch of kids. They have suicide bombers. They said it was a suicide bomber in a water truck. So, I mean, did he scream, Allahu Akbar? But we can't say that either, because then that starts to go into religion. And do not get me started on that just yet. I think, honestly, there's too many people trying to label too many different organizations for so many different acts. I mean, it's a whole network of different underground societies trying to sell things to people illegally, or trying to get a basis of superpower, like you see in the movies. They want to be a superpower. And how are they ever going to do that if the only people who ever want to be a superpower are the ones who are either the only ones who actually perform these acts of like terror are the ones, like you were saying, 9 times out of 10 are Islamic followers anyway, radical Islamic. Sorry, I feel like I'd have to be over there to see the real people, because I feel like the only way you can really know someone is if you like actually fuck with them.
Yeah.
I wasn't there to see the suicide bomber. I wasn't there, but all I can say is like I'm guessing it was someone who thought they were doing the right thing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, to elaborate on what my co-host has said, I guess I do want to make it clear, like, that yes, these people would be considered radical. I'm not, you know, I can't make the blanket statement of that all people who follow Islam are terrorists. I just find it's funny that in conjunction that a lot of a lot of these terrorist events seem to be linked to people that claim Islam as their religion.
Mm-hmm. Go on, sorry. Well, if they claim it as their religion, like, you wonder if they do it in the name of Allah, or if they're just, like I said, trying to further something else with a whole other agenda. They're just using Allah as an excuse to feel better about where they go when they die.
Yeah.
What I don't understand what terrorism does in the first place. You want to blow up a building strategically so that your enemy either knows your
It's
name, or strikes fear into the hearts of citizens,
Yeah.
or to further your organization by popularity. Therefore, maybe some of the big underground people will actually fund you better, and therefore you can have better weapons. And pretty soon you do become a superpower. But that's where it starts. You have to want to be. You have to be famous enough, to be scary enough, to get the right people to fund you enough.
Yeah, I would agree with all that.
But if they're not funded, if it was just a Pakistani helping the Taliban is not well funded. They are just well equipped. But how do we know? And going back into the conspiracy theories subject, there's people with strings on all of us anyway. So you wonder who the hell are those people? Which side are those people really on?
Yeah.
God, it boils your brain, dude.
It's tremendous to think about.
But it's only ever just a theory. Like there can't be someone with all that money just sitting on a pile of money going, dance puppets.
I mean, you want to think that way, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, as much as I guess from my view that I would want to say that like, I would say like the Illuminati isn't real. I don't know. There's a very real part of me that also thinks that it could be real.
Yeah. And if the Illuminati is real, there's just, again, going back to just all these underground organizations that there have been so many claim to being the most deadly or the most secret or the most widely funded or the most the oldest, going predated back to all the way to fucking Egyptian times. Like they say, yeah, our organization has been around since the fucking Stone Age. We probably did Stonehenge, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Like, okay, if you're old, that means that you are well funded by sheep who think your cause is just, and really your cause isn't anything except control. I mean, what is the cause of any real underground terrorist organization? Just control.
Mainly just violent ideals.
Yeah, like sometimes, like I was saying earlier before we started, it's there really isn't a whole purpose to it.
It's mainly to incite fear.
I suppose, which is the very point of terrorism.
Yeah.
They call it terror, but I feel like President Bush and his counterpart were using that word a little loosely back in the day.
Yeah.
And now we're all just shook the fuck up, like we can't ever settle down again because terror.
Okay. I think that's a good overview of that segment. I think we're gonna segue now into segment number 2. This next segment, we're just going to give our opinions. I myself don't know that much about it, so I'm strictly going to be speaking from opinion. In other news, Kathy Griffin, a comedian, she had that bloody mannequin head, or it was made to appear as bloody of Donald Trump's head. I guess my thoughts on this, probably a publicity stunt. She's probably got a tour coming up, obviously for shock and awe. And I guess what offends me the most about this is like how people are all butthurt about this. And it's just like, whatever happened to freedom of speech? Because I mean, whether or not whether or not you like what she did as a person or didn't, that should be her free speech.
You know, I say that going back to how people just want to be recognized, people just want to be famous these days. I don't know, like you said, publicity stuff. She was just trying to get a ruse out of people. She'd say, hey, look at what I'm doing. I'm holding a I just killed Trump. I chopped his head. Chop. cha, cha, cha. Like, how many people are loving that, right? Like, she's a comedian. What do you think she's trying to
Oh
fucking
yeah,
do?
the liberals are loving it. I bet they're
Oh, fuck.
like they're jizzing over it.
God, they're like, we elect that woman president.
Yeah, like the last liberal
Not
they
this
wanted to
one.
elect.
Not this woman, that woman. Oh, God. Like, you gotta think how many people just think you are a violent, psychopathic, like, lunatic who's just trying to put our commander in chief under the ropes because she can't handle how great of a president he is. And she's over here with a drink probably going, yeah, yeah, you should, yeah. No. That was stupid. I don't know what I was thinking there. I don't know. Trump to me, you start, dude. You start on Trump. I don't.
Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna use that to segue into kind of our last segment. Guys, just to inform you guys watching or that will be watching, this was just kind of a quick intro video, kind of just for you guys to kind of get to know us, and we figured we'd throw in a few popular stories. We're gonna try to do that. Some of it's going to be more segmented, like most podcasts. Eventually, we're going to try to get other skeptics and other people on.
We
I
want
even,
you to be skeptical.
yeah, we do. I even have it in the works to possibly have some of like my close personal friends. Shout out to our friend Greg. We might we might have Greg on to tell you all about the reptilians sometime.
Oh, fuck.
We're gonna have that be called the reptilian segment.
Special guest.
So y'all be on the lookout for that.
He's a fun guy, though. He is. Y'all gonna love him.
Oh yeah, no, he is. He's a good dude. He's a little weird like the rest of us. Little more weird, but can't hate. Had good times. Good times under the bridge.
Always had a 40 in his hand, at least at some point.
But anyways, like I said, we're gonna try to get a wide array of different people on. Obviously, you're gonna get to see us throughout the whole time. So the last segment was to segue into our last topic for the video, and this is just kind of a broad topic, just because it's easy to talk on. Obviously, there's gonna be he's gonna come up in other videos, and that person is, our lovely president of the United States, Donald Trump. Trump. I guess my thoughts. I guess at first, as weird as this is gonna sound, like I wanted to give him a chance. Like I'm still in the camp of I'm glad it was him over Hillary, but I'm still at the point where I'm glad she didn't make it. But I'm starting to lose. I'm starting to lose why ever the fact that I kind of liked the fact that it was him who got in it, instead. Like, I mean, like I told people from the beginning with the election, it's like to use the South Park reference. I think it was between like a douche and a church sandwich. Neither I didn't think either candidate was good. I'll put it out there right now. People can think what they want. I guess you could say I was a Bernie bro. I wanted Bernie Sanders.
He was feeling the burn, folks.
I was. I just think he would have been the best candidate. Now, is part of that because I'm, the so-called dreaded millennial? Yes. I am a millennial.
That is
I'm not
also going to be a
not an
segment.
entitled millennial, just a millennial.
Yeah, but that is also going to be a segment. Millennials, look out.
Yes, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not too into rompers and fidget spinners and man buns.
Oh,
I'm not a hipster.
oh fuck.
um, um, but anyways, back to Trump. I, I guess to give him some credit, I'm not really most mad with him. I guess I'm most mad with like who he's got in his cabinet.
Mhm.
Betsy DeVos, she's an idiot. Why he elected her for the education uh, leader, I have no clue. And his worst pick, I felt overall in any sort of the way, was Jeff Sessions for the Attorney General. Could you have picked an any more dog shit person to be the Attorney General? I mean, this guy compares marijuana to heroin.
Yeah, he needs to die. He's the only guy who's publicly attacking weed, and everyone's looking at him like, sit the fuck down, dude. Just
Oh, for real, yeah. I mean, I guess to say, are my qualms really with Trump so much himself? Not so much. I'm really more mad about the people he elected into his cabinet. I guess what tends to piss me off about him is he's just I don't know, like he makes our country look dumb.
oh
And I
god,
mean, no
yeah.
offense, we already had a dude do that for 8 years, and his name was Bush.
He was one.
And now we have basically the new cycle of Bush.
Yeah, except with less IQ.
Yeah, and a bad haircut.
A toupee, you mean?
I mean, honestly, the only thing he's got going for him is he's got a hot wife.
I have to say something to all of you out there, and I guess you can fact check me if you want, and I guess if I'm told that I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I believe when she made her first speech as the first lady, did she or did she not actually copy Michelle Obama's speech almost word for word? I believe that shit was all over Facebook. Go
I
ahead.
know there was some hype into it.
There was some definite hype into it. But I mean, the video is captured that you can see they compare the video to each other, and they're both saying the same thing. Like, if that's true, okay, let's go deeper than that. Fuck what she said. Like, when she handed Michelle Obama that present, Michelle looks at the camera with those eyes that just go, really? And then when Trump goes to see the fucking Pope, like, I don't know exactly what happened, but the Pope was trying to talk to Ivanka. Is that her name, Ivanka?
That's his daughter,
His daughter's Ivanka. Okay, so Melanie then?
Melania.
Melania. Wow, that's okay. That's actually kind of cool. Anyway, Melania was introduced to the Pope, and she was saying something to the Pope, and the Pope like was trying to get her to like get with the program, and he turns around and looks at Trump like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" She's
I
hot,
just
but she, I
yeah,
guess, media, she is, I don't know, she's kind of dumb, I guess.
I
She,
just thought it was funny all the hell people were giving Trump when they had those photos. They had those memes going out of like of her looking all salty at Trump.
that moment when you're just trying to be a gold digger, but you end up being the first lady.
Yep. Yep.
Oh shit! What happened?
the meme about the Pope being mad that like that Trump didn't bring any children with him to molest.
Oh, wow. You told me you'd bring the youngest. We agreed. I paid you 600 quid. Uh,
I mean, come on, people. We can get mad about the Catholic jokes all we want, but I mean, it was in the news for plenty of years. They like touching children.
Man, screw what people think about that joke. That joke's just funny, man. It's like we can make all the Starbucks white people jokes if we wanted to, and then it'd be
Yeah,
okay, right?
the Starbucks Marxist on their Apple products that were made by a capitalist country. Yeah,
But
gotta love those with their Che Guevara shirts,
shit.
acting like they know what communism is.
Oh my fucking god. Back to Trump here. I forgot that I actually had to state what I thought about him. How in the hell can you people be okay with this, with what you have done? Again, I agree with Sean on this about how we had a choice between a rock and a hard place, a stab in the back or a punch to the face. You want to piss on my shirt or piss down my back? I guess that's the list goes on. I probably would have taken anyone other than those two, except for the fucking Zodiac killer. Oh, sorry. I mean, Ted Cruz. My bad. Sorry. Oh no, conspiracy, Brian! You just did something. And then we go back to that video where he says that's a long time away. Okay, but Trump. Okay, yeah, he was better than Hillary on two fronts. That if Hillary was elected, feminism would have its day. And I have no problem with women getting the same pay as men. I don't have no problem with women being treated the same as men. But when y'all bitches want to take away fucking Father's Day, you can suck my hairy ball sack.
I second that.
Motion carried. Suck on. I mean, for fuck's sake. Oh, just Hillary Clinton wanted her slogan was "Let's trudge up the hill." Fuck
Yeah.
you. And Donald Trump, let's make America great again. Well, he would have to go a very, very, very long time into the past to make America great again. Because the time when we were great was two eras of time. America was great when we told Britain to go fuck themselves, and the second era was when we were high on acid and we wanted everything. War broke out, but I tell you what, during that war, Vietnam, which was one of the most terrible things we could have done to people, we had ideals that changed the future, like going out into space. Actually, the Cold War is the one I'm thinking about. We had ideas to go out in space and go explore and do things more than just worry about who's shooting who. And Trump, the first important thing he did was bomb Syria. I mean, he used 52, was it 52 tomahawks?
I know it was Tomahawk. The number I do not know.
It was 50 something. He spent more than $1 billion to bomb Syria, which there's opinions on whether or not that should have been done. And since I haven't done my research, I can't say a thing about it. All I can say is that you look like you had an idea there.
To elaborate on what Brian was saying, he did it from my knowledge. There was a chemical weapons plant, and he bombed the chemical weapon plant. So honestly, that was one of the few things he's done so far that I actually was in agreement with.
Okay, so he was trying to do away with the enemy's weapon, which I can agree also is a very noble thing. Maybe he did, his first bombing wasn't bad. But now I look at Trump in a political sense, like the actual work you have to do as a politician, the head politician no less. He's a complete nincompoop. And he's a complete publicity stunt for social media. Do you know that
Yeah,
Donald Trump spends more time on Twitter than he does in his actual ledger book?
probably.
That's fucking sad, dude. I mean, Obama was on Jimmy Kimmel Live and they had to slow jam the news, which I thought was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like they hired Trump because a complete moron who had $1 billion or so came up to the podium and said, "Hey, I'll do the fucking president thing. You watch this, y'all. I'll take care of you. We'll get you back to work. We'll build a fucking wall, and we'll kick everyone out that we don't like." That's exactly what he said. And then
Yep.
when he actually became president, he's like, "Kill them."
Yeah, I guess that's my biggest problem with him is like I guess to elaborate on what I was saying is he seems to step on his dick a lot, so to say, and it's
Yeah.
just not looking good.
Yeah, he steps on his own toes. He just loves the media. He loves to tantalize them like they're his bread and butter, or like they are his bread, or like he is their bread and butter. One of the two. I think one hand washes the other, if I'm not wrong. I don't know, dude. Just like you said before, we don't have enough years in the millennium to talk about that, man.
Correct. Yeah, I think I think that's a good place to end the Trump segment. Like I said, guys, this was a video to just introduce you to the Comatose Society podcast. Um, um, I'm Sean again, and my co-host.
Brian.
Like I said, you guys, stay tuned. We're gonna try to get some guests in as soon as we can. Gonna try to keep it fresh and lively. Like I said, this was just a quick kind of like intro video. In the future, we're gonna probably plan for these to be anywheres from an hour to possibly 2 hours long. Right now, because of like life schedules between the two of us, we're just going to be doing one a week. Not counting this one. And then once we have things a little more figured out between both our lives, we'll probably jump to having 2 or 3 a week at least the 2 hour mark. That way we just talk about, uh, you know, anti-feminism, uh, anti-SJW things, skepticism, atheism, and current events.
And we'll try our best not to be hateful on anybody, but we make no promises.
That we
because,
do.
because honestly, can you ask yourself in the heat of the moment, would you be able to control your anger thinking about the very thing that you lose sleep over? No. I lose sleep over some of this shit, people.
Okay. With that said, signing off, Sean.
Brian, keep it real, folks. And remember,
Okay. Peace out,
wake
folks.
the fuck up. Peace out.
Wake up. Wake up.
All right. Deuces.